couple of out of position tanks, and okay, we have been spotted, so that means let's get the hell out of there. There are 3 artillery in this game, and yep, there is one. Will there be another shell coming in? Of course there will be. If an E-25 is spotted, especially in this kind of a matchmaking, we can pretty much assume that we will be public enemy number 1 for the next couple of seconds. Camo rating holding up quite nicely, so the Panther doesn't spot us. That means we can extend hopefully some view range and spot some of those guys hiding in the back, which is pretty much guaranteed. There is always a couple of tanks there. Especially tank destroyers like to hide in that spot, and there is the young Panther. A very powerful machine in this kind of matchmaking. Pretty much our arch nemesis there. If he would hit us, that would definitely leave a mark. Now he disappears, we do fire a couple of blind shots, something that you can't really do an awfully lot in this machine, because if you have a quick look, we only have 53 rounds left. And the battle is barely a couple of minutes old. Unfortunate miss on that Panther, and we will definitely see a lot more of him later. So far not too bad. We put in a couple of rounds, spotted a couple of tanks, but nothing major really. However, things will spiral out of control in a rapid fashion. The town is under a lot of pressure. We are basically down to an IS and a couple of relatively weak medium tanks. So we will have our hands full in a couple of seconds. Unfortunately, we were not able to push through on this flank. At least not until now, and that's when we spot the young Panther again. We put a couple of rounds into him, which is great. However, he does quite a good job there, angling his armor against us. So that means, unfortunately, we are bouncing the next couple of rounds. And those are very, very precious shells in this machine. Oh, that was one more wasted. But the show's not over, FV304 spotted as well. Second round in, should be already taking him out. There we go. Lovely shot there into the E-25 as well. So finally it seems we are breaking through on this flank. However, the city has in the meantime fallen. Luckily we are also paying attention to the map. And that means it's time to get back to defend that artillery and our own base. You're actually not the only ones going back. T1 Heavy is moving into position as well, and one of the M44s is running away as well. I don't know why the other two are insisting to stay in place and get blasted into pieces like the M12 there, which was our most important artillery in this match. Alright, so here they come, Tiger 1. Shouldn't really be a problem for this gun, even from the front. Of course we start with 2 bounces, because why not? However, now we can really start to open up on that guy, and while we only do 135 average damage per shot, with this kind of rate of fire, the Tiger 1 is history in a matter of seconds. Alright, Tiger 1 down. Next up is the Tiger P. That's a more heavily armored foe, so we will have to aim for weak spots there. And that's a lot of hell, so it will take a ton of shots to bring that guy down. Managed to track him, and then artillery lands a huge one up there. Oops, we were spotted there, we were a bit too close to the bush for that VK, and oh, let us in, please. Buildings, go aside, we need to retreat because artillery. Alright, so far so good, and now that we are hopefully artillery safe, we can really open up on that Panther there. Well, if we can hit him, that is. Yeah, a couple of missed shots again. There is an ESE up there. What a shot through that pole. And with this next one, we take him out as well. I've been spotted though, so you know the rule. You get spotted in an E-25, you have to get the hell out of there. Alright, we should be safe here between the houses. It's an important kill on the enemy E-25, excellent. And now it's time to continue our work with the Panther, who is very keen to shoot at our remaining artillery. However, he's eating a ton of shells from us in the meantime, and wow, that was a near miss from the Hummel, splashing us there for 55 HP. but we are happy to take it on the chin and take out the Stug in return. One more into the Panther. We won't know if that hit. No, I'm pretty sure that didn't. So the Panther is now a one-shot. However, this is a 2 versus 5 situation still. We are not out of the water just yet, and we are already down to our last APCR shells. 13 shells left and 6 enemies to go. Alright, well, this can get really close in the end. So going over to this bush is actually not a bad thing. We can still spot the Panther if he is keen to eat another shell from us. And we will be also spotting the Type T-34, a Chinese Tier 5 tank, if I'm not mistaken, if he is making an advance. There is the Panther. Lovely shot there. Oh, and what's that? IKV has been making its way, probably after camping the zero line for most of the match. And he's on full health, so that means we will have to shoot him quite a few times. There is 2. There is 3. We still need to shoot him at least 2 more times. Come on. It's a little bit tricky there with the M44 blocking part of our shot. And there is the Type T-34, who is very busy killing the artillery, unfortunately successfully. However, we managed to take him out as well in return, and that means that's a Pulse medal right there. 10 kills on the enemy team, and it's still not over. So we have a Hummel and an M44 left to hunt. However, have a look at the ammunition. We have 5 rounds of APCR left, and that's it. So we either kill those in these 5 rounds, which should be about alright, but we can't miss a single one of them. Otherwise it's down to trying to ram the artillery without ramming ourselves to death, and E25 isn't exactly great in that situation. Now, knocking those trees over was a little bit risky, especially after that we did stay to see if there is any movement in the back. However, as we don't spot anything, we have to go and take the fight to the enemy. Now, there are a couple of well-known artillery hotspots in this map, the most prominent one being on K1, down there on the bottom left corner of the map, which is the typical artillery dam. I have to say, going into the usual locations of an artillery battery on something as poorly armored and on half health as our current E25, it's like going into the lion's den with your pants down. Nothing spotted until now, so that means there's a high chance we will bump into them as soon as we crest at the corner. Very carefully advancing there. Also, I didn't mention we have really high and fluctuating ping throughout the game, so you can really appreciate why we are extra careful. We won't really be able to pull off those clutch shots in these conditions as reliably as we would otherwise. Artillery is not here, however, so that can mean a couple of things. Maybe they located themselves around the houses there opposite to us, which is also a quite popular position. They could have moved out to the zero line, which would not be a bad move actually. They have still shots on the cap and they would be hidden. So let's just go from bush to bush, setting up our binoculars and hopefully spotting them in the process. They are not spotted, so let's advance to the houses. If they are not there, however, that can mean one of two things. Either they are just on their way to our cap, as they will try to force our hands, or they might be extra sneaky and move all the way to K0, which would be probably the last place where we would look for them. Alright, time for scouting round number 12. Come on, binoculars, will we see anything? Nothing. Alright, so let's just go all the way up to the zero line. And with not spotting them until now, it's pretty certain that they are either in the small village up there at the end of this road, or they are around our cap. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Alright, well, it seems the artillery is not going down easily. Kudos for them for that, by the way. So that means it will be exciting till the end. We are going over some cars here, but I doubt that artillery would be looking at this location. And alright, there is one guy in the cap. Will the other one enter the cap as well? Yes, he is. Alright, excellent. Now we know exactly where those guys are. And